So Shinichiro Watanabe, the same guy behind Cowboy Bebop, Kids on the Slope, and Space Dandy, has a new series, Zankyou no Terra, or Terra in Resonance, Terra of Resonance. And to be honest with you, coming into this one, I was a little bit skeptical because Cowboy Bebop is a classic. Kids on the Slope, from what I've heard, is pretty good. But Space Dandy, one of his latest creations, it was for the most part just a wacky series, and it wasn't all that or anything like that. And while it's not like a bad series or anything, from Shinichiro Watanabe, you would expect something amazing every time. So when you get something like Space Dandy, you start getting a little bit skeptical, like, yo, is Shinichiro Watanabe like losing his shit? You know, what's going on here? So I was a little bit skeptical. And from what I've been told, apparently this was a creation that Watanabe had been wanting to do for years now, and he finally got to do it. This was one of his dream anime to create. So I was like, okay, I was a little bit interested, and that's why I checked it out. And judging from episode 1, I would definitely say that this is not an anime that everyone can get into, because it felt very sophisticated to a certain extent regarding the storytelling and just the vibe that you get from this. You're not going to go Tokyo Ghoul crazy screaming. You're not going to get that SAO feel. It has a more mature theme to it and a more mature feel to it as well. It's not just your typical anime. You're not going to get desu, desu, desu. It's more so along the lines of something that is going to get you thinking and get you just looking at life in general. Because from what I got from the first episode, for the most part, you have these two guys, 9 and 12. I can't remember their names, but 9 and 12, and they seemingly are like terrorists because like they're making little threats on YouTube, which was interesting that they used YouTube instead of Nico Nico, which I'm correct. In Japan, Nico Nico is kind of like their YouTube, but I guess that's just like a statement from Watanabe, because if you see from Watanabe's actions in the past and stuff like that, he is more so connected towards like Western culture, and he understands it. That's why he'll give 2 episodes of Terror Resonance at Anime Expo so that they can watch it and enjoy it, and why Space Dandy can premiere over here before it even does in Japan, because he's really connected. So little tidbits like that, them using YouTube and little things of that nature, just show Watanabe's interests. And this episode, it got me a little bit confused in certain aspects. So basically you have these two and they're kind of like terrorists and whatnot, but then you also have this girl that is seemingly being bullied by her classmates, and I don't know if she was sick or what was going on with her that she kept on running in the bathroom. It looked like she was puking as well. I think a lot of life is getting to her of the bullying that's happening in school, and I guess that's something that happens in Japan a lot. I mean, it happens all over the world. People get bullied all over the world, but I've been noticing that in anime recently, that they're showing a lot of bullying going on, and the girl is just like a wreck from it. She just can't take it. They were trying to push her to jump into the swimming pool with all of her clothes on, and you can see that the two main characters, 9 and 12, while they're doing these things seemingly, you know, like hacking shit and blowing shit up and all sorts of crazy shit, they're not completely bad, because he saw what they were doing to her. They were bullying her, and he just jumps in the pool like, oh, don't worry about it, nothing. So you could definitely see that there's some sort of good vibe to them. You can't like classify them as like they're fucked up. So it really makes you wonder with this first episode, what is their reasoning for doing these things, these terroristic acts, especially like some of the shit that they did towards the end of the episode in that mall with like those things that was like blowing up and shit and like going on fire. What is their purpose for doing these things? We got a little bit of context based on that flashback dream that 9 had regarding the past, and seemingly they were in some sort of like camp and they were running for their lives. So there was a little bit of like, you could tell that they had a fucked up past at the very least, and that it's, you know, traumatic, and that stood with them. And also it seems as though 12 roped 9 into this, because when they were talking about this girl and how seemingly 12 wanted to rope her into this because he could see that she was suffering. So I'd imagine 12 likes to bring in people that are being basically fucked over in life in Japan and bring them into their inner circle. And 9 is basically saying something along the lines of, you're gonna make me relive this again. And at the end of the episode, he ends up roping the girl into it. So I'm wondering, could 9 have been roped into this whole lifestyle and this mindset by 12? And if so, then what made 12 do this? There's a lot of questions that this episode definitely sets up. So in a sense, it's a very good setup. It had me really thinking like, wow, there's a lot of interesting things going on. Why are they doing this? What is their reasoning? Why are they so fucked up? What happened in their past? What's going on with this girl? Why is she getting so tortured mentally over this bullying situation? And for a second there, it seems as though 12 is way more fucked up than 9, because he gave her the doll that is pretty much going to blow up at any second, and then gave her a choice. You can die right now, or you can join us. It was almost basically blackmail in a sense. It's like, I want you in here, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get you in here. So maybe 9 is basically being blackmailed by 12 to joining him and doing all these fucked up things. So definitely it looks like 12 is the ringleader of all this to a certain degree, although 9 isn't completely like bending to his every, you know, whip and command. But definitely you can see that there's some sort of big blackmail involved in all this, and this girl is going to have to roll with them. And I feel bad because in a way, it's almost as if they're taking advantage, especially 12, of the fact that she is so weak and she just, like, can't hack life. And they're blackmailing her into doing fucked up things like being a terrorist. And I'm definitely looking forward to more of this, because this episode 1, it was very sophisticated. The art style was a bit unique. It felt just a little bit more dark. I noticed there was a lot of shading on a lot of the scenes, like the backgrounds and everything. And I can tell you right now, this isn't an anime for everyone. If you're not really into thinking philosophically and looking at life for more than what it is, then this probably isn't going to be for you, because based on episode 1, it is just a very good setup for some interesting thing that is going to make you think about life and make you think differently. Sort of like, again, I guess in a weird way, like, you know how Tokyo Ghoul is making you kind of question humanity? This is, to a certain degree, and in a more sophisticated and mature way, making you question humanity to a certain degree with this episode 1. A lot of great setup, and to be honest with you, in a sophisticated way, I felt that it was very good and one of the best of the season as well. The season is so strong, so many great anime coming out, but this episode 1, just, I like that it's catering more towards my demographic, where it's going to make me feel a little bit more like, oh, I can relate to a certain degree. They are still high schoolers, but they're way more mature to a certain degree. Again, they're terrorists, so they're not that mature because it's like fucked up way of doing things, but ultimately, it looks like it's going to be a great show. And it's only 11 episodes, and it's Shinichiro Watanabe, so I'm going to disregard Space Dandy and look at it for what it is. And as of right now, this was a very good first episode. I definitely hope in the next few episodes to find out a little bit more about their backstory. Is 12 pulling the strings and has 9 blackmailed? Also, why are they called 9 and 12? Is this just something that they particularly caught on with? Some, like, you know, aliases that they made up? And also, this girl, is she going to be basically going along with everything for long, or could she be the one that pulls them down because she finally grows up and realizes, I can't let these people drag me down into being a terrorist? So for a first episode, I'm going to give this one 8.5 out of 10. I felt this was very good. One of the stronger ones from the season. It's not going to get you going, whoa, crazy screaming, but it's going to be a more thing that you can relate to if you're a little bit, like, you know, older and a little bit more mature to look at things. And I really appreciate that, because sometimes, like, anime can be a lot of desu, baka, and this and that, but when you get a mature show like this, you can appreciate it. But let me know what you think. If you've seen episode 1, did you think that it was interesting? Were you let down? I'm honestly looking forward to seeing a more mature take on things and just seeing these characters. 12 looks like he's probably going to be one of the most interesting characters, because he almost looks like a fucking killing yandere type of shit over what he believes in, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. But as of right now, definitely a very good start for one of the best anime seasons since I've been watching seasonal anime. But that's all I have for this episode 1, first impressions. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.